You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borg. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Wednesday, 28th day of January, 2026. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. We do 2 live broadcasts every trading day. Now, the first broadcast is our live training room. So that one's reserved for members only and those who are taking their 1-week free trial. If you have not yet taken your 1-week free trial, when Michael joins us in about an hour, he'll walk you through the steps, take you about 3 minutes of your time. We'll get your indicators up and indicating today. Your trial will officially begin tomorrow and will run all the way through next Wednesday. The weekend doesn't count against your 5 consecutive trading days, and there's no credit card required. We want you focused on what's being taught, so that at the end of the trial, you can make a well-informed, intelligent decision as to whether or not trading is right for you. Now, when you take the trial, you're not just getting access to the live training room. We treat you like you were already a member, a bona fide passport holder, for 5 consecutive trading days, with access to everything. Logic alerts, concierge trade alerts, weekly trading zones, everything. Again, so that at the end of the trial, you can make a well-informed, intelligent decision as to whether or not trading is right for you. Now, when the live training room ends each day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, we take a 30-minute break and come back for this broadcast, the noon broadcast, which, unlike the morning broadcast, this one is open to the public. Everybody, everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. There's 2 different ways to join this afternoon broadcast live. The best way, you only have to do it once. Go to mytradingiq.com, scroll down the page to where it says Noon Broadcast. Click the link, fill out the 30-second registration form, and you're done. What will happen going forward is every trading day, you'll get an email about an hour before this broadcast starts. In the email, there's a link. So at 12 noon Eastern, all you do is click the link in the email, and it automatically logs you into our platform. The benefit there is you have access to the question box, so you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. Of course, there'll be days you're out of the office, away from the desktop, but you still want to join live. And some days you'll be busy, so you can't join live, but you want to get caught up later. You can do both of those via our YouTube channel, which is easy to remember. youtube.com/CFRN. That's the Christian Financial Radio Network since 2005. Not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, but we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there's over 2,900 daily episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. And if you're new to the world of CFRN, it's a great way to get to know who we really are. Thanks to the power of YouTube, you can scroll back 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, even more. Now, obviously, you're not going to watch them all, nor do you need to, but it's a great resource to have at your fingertips, and it does allow you to see how we've evolved over the years, day by day by day. youtube.com/CFRN. On the left side of the screen is our schedule for each afternoon broadcast. And a reminder, we simulcast each day. In other words, we're broadcasting on our go-to platform and on our YouTube channel all at the same time. So whichever way works better for you to get logged in or to be able to view the broadcast or view the broadcast after the fact, just use the YouTube channel. Now, at the top of the hour, 1 o'clock Eastern, Michael will join us for a recap of what happened this morning in the live training room, and then a little live trading. But for now, we'll dive right into where we do each and every day at this time, our daily devotional. Now, the topic we're currently on, you're waiting, God's working. Today's scripture is Psalm 130, verse 5, from the NIV translation. I wait for the Lord, my whole being waits, and in his word I put my hope. You're waiting, God's working. Again, that was Psalm 130, verse 5. Many of us, most of us, live in a get it done now world of microwaves and fast food, express checkouts, and instant streaming. But the natural speed of our souls is slow. If you're in a season of waiting, you're not late. You're not stuck. You're not failing because your faith isn't strong enough. Often God works in our lives, not so much as an event, it's a process. Break the egg, split open the cocoon, dig up the seed, and you might risk the beautiful, strong things being made. Waiting, perhaps above all things, is about surrender. Letting go of the way you thought things would be. Loosening your grip on your plans. Laying down your expectations. You can't control the pace of your journey with Jesus any more than you can control the rising and setting of the sun, the rhythm of the waves, the changing of the seasons. It's beyond you. It's bigger than you. Do you have to tell the tiny sparrow's eggs when to hatch? A million butterflies when they're to leave their cocoons? Or every new baby when to emerge from the womb? Trust the Master and Maker of all life, the only one who knows the right moment for everything. He will not delay his plan for you, but he will not rush it either. You're loved in this moment. You're moving forward day by day. No matter how it feels right now, it's not always going to be this way. God has more ahead for you, and it will be worth the wait. Remember, while you're waiting, God's working. Let's pray. Lord, we wait for you with patient hearts, and we place our hope in your word. Teach us to trust you in the waiting and to rest in the certainty of your promises. Strengthen our faith as we look to you alone. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray. And everybody said, amen. Amen and happy Wednesday. Once again, Fed Day. So at 2 p.m. Eastern, we get the FOMC announcement. The street's expectation is that there will be no change in the interest rate. Nonetheless, it will create some volatility. And the real volatility will probably come as Jerome Powell takes the podium at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. So they give you the FOMC announcement, let things come down, and then comes Jerome, delivers a prepared statement, and then takes questions from the audience. And based on the questions and the answers to the questions, that's when things, well, you just don't know. So the best position ahead of a Fed announcement and during a Fed announcement and the press conference, climb up in the bleachers, watch the action down on the field, wait for the market to return to its normal rhythm before you get back in the water. All right, let me pull in some fresh data and we'll do the numbers from around the world. Starting here in the US with the cash markets, or the indices as they're called. The Dow's up 59 points. NASDAQ's up 15. S&P 500 is down 1. And the Russell 2000 is down 9. Pretty quiet. Markets are mixed. Kind of typical ahead of a Fed day. That run up this morning ran back down pretty quick. So I was surprised. I commented on that in the live training room this morning, that I was surprised to see the markets run up in the manner that they did, but they ran down. Well, you'll see it when we get to the charts here in just a bit. In the commodity basket, crude oil up 30 cents, trading 62.69 last. Gold up $219.30, trading $5,300.40 last. That's a gain of over 4.25%. Silver up $8.93, trading $114.89 last. That's a gain of over 8%. Wow. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei posted a gain of 25 points. Shanghai rose 11. The Hang Seng gained 699, 2.5%. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE down 53, the DAX down 71, and the CAC down 86. And for the CAC, that's just over 1%. So we had a green day in Asia. It was a red day for the UK. And at the moment, it is a mixed radio Wednesday here in the US of A, with the Dow and the NQ in the green. Now the NQ is only positive by 11 points. So, I mean, that's just not much. S&P is in the red by 2.5, 3. There we go, 3 points. So as you can see, it's kind of sideways and quiet. Let's take a look at the news. The National Transportation Safety Board yesterday determined that last year's deadly mid-air collision between an American Airlines jet and an Army helicopter was largely caused by the Federal Aviation Administration's placement of a helicopter route in the approach of a Ronald Reagan National Airport runway. Federal investigators detailed how the helicopter's blades severed the jet's wing, sending both aircraft into the Potomac River, killing 67 people. The aircraft's routes reportedly allowed just 75 feet of vertical separation, below the 1,000 feet usually required. The FAA allegedly failed to vet the paths, despite years of pilot warnings, and ignored air traffic controllers' calls to reduce Reagan's air traffic. The airspace was congested seconds before the crash, with one controller directing 5 helicopters and 6 aircraft more than 5 hours into their shift. Since the crash 1 year ago, this Thursday, tomorrow, the FAA has revised helicopter routes and reduced arrivals at Reagan. Meanwhile, a spending package with funding for 2,500 more air traffic controllers could stall this week over immigration enforcement provisions. That's really sad. Amazon announced yesterday it will shutter all 72 Amazon Fresh supermarkets and Amazon Go convenience stores nationwide, reflecting a shift toward its grocery delivery business and Whole Foods expansion. Analysts say the change underscores emphasis on shopping experiences that better align with customer preferences. Amazon's online grocery division is a $150 billion business, reaching more than 150 million shoppers. Same-day grocery delivery is available in 2,300 U.S. cities and towns, with longer-term delivery options available in 5,000 locations. The company says it will continue offering fresh delivery online and open more than 100 Whole Foods stores in the coming years, but did not provide a timeline for the latter. Since Amazon acquired Whole Foods in 2017, the chain has grown to over 550 locations and seen over 40% sales growth. Separately, Amazon is building a 229,000 square foot megastore near Chicago that combines in-person and digital shopping. It is also planning to scale up Whole Foods Market Daily Shop, a mini market in select cities. This is an interesting retail pivot for Amazon. India and the EU announced a free trade agreement yesterday, forming one of the largest deals by population that links nearly 2 billion consumers. The 27-member bloc and India concluded the deal after almost 20 years of negotiations. The partnership represents about 25% of global GDP and 1/3 of global trade, and will cut tariffs on nearly 97% of EU exports to India. Tariffs on European cars will fall gradually from 110% to 10%, while premium wine duties will drop gradually from 150% to 20%. The EU will phase in similar cuts covering nearly 99% of India's shipments by trade value. India will gain wider access for farm and textile exports, along with cooperation on defense, security, and job creation. EU-India trade totaled $136.5 billion in 2024 and 25, with both sides targeting $200 billion by 2030. The deal follows U.S. tariffs on Indian and European exports, and analysts say it could offset part of Europe's export losses. For India, the agreement offers a diversification from its largest trading partner, the U.S. A formal deal is expected later this year. So I guess it's not quite carved in stone as of yet. Speaking of Amazon, Amazon is making major cuts to its corporate workforce for the second time in less than 6 months, as it continues to adjust its staffing plans following a surge of hiring during the pandemic. The company announced today plans to eliminate 16,000 jobs, with executive Beth Galletti writing in a blog post that the cuts are intended to reduce layers, increase ownership, and reduce bureaucracy. A report from Reuters said the company appeared to tip off employees to the coming cuts in an internal email accidentally sent Tuesday to workers in its AWS division. Last October, Amazon laid off 14,000 workers after the company became convinced that we need to be more organized, leaner, with fewer layers, and more ownership to move as quickly as possible for our customers and business. In her note, Galletti said the company does not plan large rolling cuts to its workforce every few months. In late 2024, CEO Andy Jassy said he wanted the company to operate like the world's largest startup, as part of an announcement cutting management layers and setting new expectations about corporate staff coming to the office 5 days a week. Wow, imagine that, having to go to work 5 days a week. As of September 30th, Amazon had roughly 350,000 corporate employees. Now, by corporate employees, I don't think we're talking about the guys in the warehouses and distribution centers driving the forklifts, sending out the little packages that show up at your doorstep, or the guys that deliver them. Amazon down almost 1% on the news, $2.15 a share. With the Federal Reserve widely expected to hold interest rates steady this afternoon, all eyes are on Fed Chair Jerome Powell's press conference and what clues he provides about when the central bank could cut rates again. Numerous signs point to not anytime soon. Well, he's out of the office. His term expires the end of May. After making 3 rate cuts at the end of last year to address concerns over the job market and absorbing more economic data since their last meeting, several Fed officials have signaled a near-term pause, saying policy right now is in a good place. Crude rose to a fresh 4-month high after President Trump threatened another attack on Iran, urging Tehran to negotiate a nuclear deal. Hopefully, Iran will come to the table and negotiate a fair and equitable deal, Trump said in a post on his Truth Social network, adding that the next attack will be far worse than the one that took place last year. Wow. And that was a big one. Spinning the globe, German investigators searched the offices of Deutsche Bank, Germany's largest bank, today in connection with an investigation into possible money laundering. Prosecutors in Frankfurt said the probe focused on unknown employees and the bank's prior business relationships to foreign entities, which were in turn suspected of being used to launder money. Offices were searched in Frankfurt, where the bank is headquartered, and in Berlin. Frankfurt prosecutor's office said it could not provide more information on the nature and size of the transactions under scrutiny. Deutsche Bank said in a statement that we confirm that the Frankfurt Public Prosecutor's Office is on site in our offices. The bank is cooperating fully with the prosecutors. We cannot comment further. The search comes a day before the bank was supposed to release its earnings report for 2025. I wonder if they will. And on Capitol Hill, President Trump said Representative Ilhan Omar probably had herself sprayed after the Congresswoman was attacked by a man with a syringe at a town hall. I'm sure you've seen it on the news. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. So President Trump says that Ilhan Omar probably had herself sprayed. I'm sure you've seen the video. She was attacked by a man with a syringe at a town hall. The firebrand member of the House, who has been the subject of a federal fraud probe, was sprayed by an unknown substance during a town hall meeting on Tuesday in Minneapolis, the location of intense turmoil over the enforcement of federal immigration laws. I don't think about her. I think she's a fraud, Trump said, when questioned by ABC News. She probably had herself sprayed, knowing her. Well, sometimes I wish Trump would say things differently. I know a lot of people are thinking it. It's the huge rumor on the internet, conspiracy theory, or whatever you want to call it. The guy, Anthony James Kazmarkak, 55, was reportedly charged with assault in the third degree. The suspect used a syringe to shoot liquid at Omar's chest. Omar was not hurt and continued the town hall. "We will continue," Omar said after the incident, adding that the suspect is not getting away with this. Now, if somebody rushed in and I was talking and they sprayed me with some unknown substance, I wouldn't just go back to my speech. I would probably want to go to the hospital and get checked out, roll the ambulances, 911, all of that. I mean, God only knows what kind of horrible chemical it could have been, from anthrax to anything else. But I guess maybe that's why so many of this speculation about it being planned, maybe that's why she just soldiered on and picked up where she left off on her speech. I don't know. I'm not voicing an opinion either way. So we hope that it was nothing serious, and we hope that while we disagree with her on just about everything, we don't condone violence, and we don't condone anything that harms a human life. Human life is very precious. So, with that, let's take a look at Logic 247. That's our 24/7 around-the-clock E-mini alert service. Not just the E-minis, but also crude, gold, and silver. Currently, we're in week 391. Over the last 391 weeks, we've issued over 21,400 individual handcrafted alerts. And what we've averaged on a weekly basis is 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out based on simple market structure and a simple process we teach all of our passport holders. I think last week we ended up with 14% stopped out. Valerie did the recap this morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, so some things have changed since then, I'm sure, and will, with the Fed announcement coming. So she'll update the recap this afternoon or evening, as she does each day. Since the markets opened Sunday night, we issued a total of 26 alerts. At the time of the recap, we were still waiting on the outcome of 14. That gave us 12 actionable alerts, of which 2 or 17% would have been stopped out, again based on simply market structure and the simple process we teach all of our passport holders. Now, the logic alerts can come out anytime around the clock. Futures trade around the clock. We have traders around the globe. Our day session is our night session, and vice versa. Every logic alert has an entry price, long or short, then an initial target designed to help get your goal for the day, in most cases additional targets, and then a final trade to target. The purpose of the logic alerts is to help you learn how to read a chart. You want to be able to look at a chart and know where to anticipate support, where to anticipate resistance, because in between those 2 points is where you'll find your best high probability, low risk trade setups. Now, 391 weeks, that's a long time, over 7 years. But years before there was Logic 247, we had our original alert service, the concierge trade alerts. Now, the concierge trade alerts are different in a lot of different ways from Logic. But for the purpose of this discussion, I'll just simply say they don't come out around the clock. They're typically posted 5 minutes ahead of the Globex open each evening. So the Wednesday session that we're in right now began last night at 6 p.m. Eastern. 5 minutes before the Wednesday session began. Now, if you trade stocks, for you, the Wednesday session, you probably think of it as 9:30 a.m. Eastern. That's when Wall Street opens. But for those who trade futures, the Globex session begins 6 p.m. Eastern each evening. So the Wednesday session will end today at 5 p.m. Eastern, and the Thursday session will begin tonight, Wednesday night, at 6 p.m. Eastern. So what that means is all of our members and trial members had all of these targets 5 minutes before the market opened last night. S&P 500, the Dow, the Russell, crude oil, the NQ, gold, and silver. So with that, let's go to the chart. We'll start with the S&P 500 Emini futures daily chart. It's where we start each day, the bellwether as it's called. Now, we put in a new all-time historic high today. Now, I mentioned the other day, I probably mentioned every day this week, that when we put in a new all-time historic high, we typically get a sell-off. You know, over here was a new high, and a sell-off. Here, sell-off. So this morning we had this huge green candle for overnight that put in a new all-time historic high intraday. Now this morning in the live training room, I said we're getting awfully close to the low of the day. We could be about to develop a red body on the daily candle, and lo and behold, it has actually happened. Because it's unusual to see price rallying into a Fed announcement. So the previous all-time historic high, 70.36 1/4, is now 70.43. Let's see how close we can get that. No, there's 70.44. So for the daily chart, that's pretty close. The high 70.43, the line's at 44. So on your own chart, you can fiddle with it and adjust it and get it exactly perfect if you want. So with the ES selling off, the next area for potential support would be here at the 50% fib extension. Now this is the Wednesday candle. On Tuesday we found support there and ran all the way up to the 62. Monday, we found resistance at the 50% fib extension. So now we have a new all-time historic intraday high. But with the Fed coming, we could still end up with a new all-time historic closing high. The record closing high is 70.11.5. Now we've got potential support here at the 50% fib extension, the black step line, the daily BBC, blue and climbing, and the 38. So you got lots of layers, okay? On the way back up, potential resistance would be at the previous all-time historic high, 70.36.25, and then 70.43, the new all-time high. So anything can happen this afternoon, so embrace all possibilities. And keep in mind, price always reverts to the mean. In our case, the mean is green. This green line, we call it the BBC. It just stands for bull bear cross. When price crosses above the green line, we're bullish and expect higher prices. When price crosses below the green line, we're bearish and expect lower prices, higher prices, lower, higher, lower, higher. Pretty simple. Now, all the alerts are created, both the logic alerts and the concierge trade alerts are created on the 30-minute chart. There's nothing magic about 30 minutes. It's just the time frame I chose years ago, and I've stuck with it because, well, they say if it's not broke, leave it alone. The vertical line separates today, Wednesday. Here's Tuesday. Back here's Monday. Now, when price drops to a weekly trading zone, we expect support until proven otherwise. When price rallies up to a weekly trading zone, we expect resistance until proven otherwise. These weekly trading zones, they're published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Once they're published, they're carved in stone for the entire week. They don't change in any way whatsoever. Now, this is the highest weekly trading zone this week for the ES. So we tapped it, 70.40/41. Came back to the BBC. Here's where we opened last night. We got above red and falling, and this 130-minute candle here opened at 70.19 and ran up 6 points. You only need 2 points to get your goal for the day. Then we consolidated and made a run up to the highest weekly trading zone. Resistance sends the market looking for support, which sends it to resistance, red and falling. Then we get below the BBC. The pullback holds more often than it doesn't. It held here and here and here and here. And then once we're below the pull up, still a pullback. It held. It holds more often than it doesn't, but eventually it will trade through, like it did here. And the very first pullback right there held. Then a leg, and then a retracement, and that pullback held. Now we seem to be consolidating sideways, which is kind of typical heading into a Fed announcement. The low, as you can see, is based off this bullish crossover here. When the blue line gets above the green line and leads to an extended move, the first time price revisits that area will almost always be good support. And if you look at the horizontal line on the cursor, that's good support so far. But the fireworks haven't started yet. On the Dow, here's where we opened last night, and we basically just consolidated sideways all night. We did reach up to the zone overhead, which we expect to be resistance till proven otherwise. And we reached down to the zone below, but we didn't quite get there. The zone is 49.30/35. And we only made it down to 54. And now we're still just consolidating sideways. On the Russell, here's where we opened last night. Ran up to the weekly trading zone, consolidated. When price encounters a weekly trading zone, one of three things happens. 70% of the times consolidation, 20% of the time rejection, 10% of the time the slice. That's when a 30-minute candle slices through a zone like it's not even there. Kind of like the opening candle on Wall Street now. Typically, when you have a slice like that, when it runs out of steam, price will retrace back to the zone it sliced through and continue in the direction of the slice. That didn't happen this time. We just headed straight down, and we've been consolidating for quite a few hours here at the short target, which was based off right here, where red turned to blue yesterday afternoon. So from the long target to the short target, now consolidating sideways. Now this black step line is starting to lean to the right. See how on the way down they were parallel to each other? Step lines on the left side are red and falling. If the step line crosses red and falling, that's when you look for a retracement back to the BBC. Pullback holds more often than not. So if the pullback holds, then we get another leg to the downside. If price trades through, be aware of this bearish cross right here, because that's potential resistance. And then, of course, you're back at the zone. On the NQ, here's where we opened last night. And by 1930, we had reached the long target. Continued higher. And then as blue and climbing turned to red and falling, we got back below the BBC. And this low right here, okay, you see right here where the step line had gotten on the right side of blue and climbing, and then right here it went back to the left side. That's an important price, important area. And as you can see, it became good support. So that step line starting to lean to the right. So we may see a retracement back to the BBC. Crude oil. This was the open last night. We pulled back to the zone, found support, put in another leg, then a retracement. We traded through the zone and we did not get that immediate retracement back. We found support at an area where I would have not typically have anticipated support. Off we go to the long target. We spike it, and we get a reversal, come back to the BBC. Got red and falling overhead. So if this pullback holds and we move higher, be sure to anticipate potential resistance at red and falling, and then of course at the zone. Now we've already traveled pretty far up and we're dropping, so things are just getting quiet and sideways heading into the Fed. Not unusual. Gold, we dropped last night, found support at an area I really wouldn't have anticipated. And then we made a run up to the long target. Now once we got above this zone, this candle opened at 51.90, ran up like over $2 grand per contract traded. and then went on to put in this high. And then we get a retracement back to the BBC, pull back holes, we get a leg and a retracement, pull back holes, and then we get a leg, and looks like we're about to potentially get a retracement. The black step line is directly above blue and climbing. As it gets to the right side of blue and climbing, you should look for a retracement. Silver, here's where we opened last night. You only need 2 pennies in silver to get your goal for the day. By 8 o'clock, we had hit the long target. We got above it, pulled back to it, got below it. These lows here, again, you had a low here. I would have probably expected it to travel this far down, but market doesn't always do what you think it's going to do. And so we've just kind of been consolidating sideways. Above the BBC, below the BBC, back above, now pulling back to the BBC. And that brings us back to the daily chart, where we're now off the low of the session, well off the high of the session, and off the low of the session. To become a member, email Valerie, support@cfrn.net. Just let her know you want to become a member. She'll email you all the information you need to get signed up. Once you become a passport holder, you get 2 hours of live training every trading day. It's an interactive environment. You're asking questions, trading in your demo account, learning the strategy, how to read the indicators. The more questions you ask, the sooner you'll get it down. But you got to show up, you got to do the work. On top of the 2 hours of live training every trading day, you also get private one-on-one mentoring. There's no extra charge, you just got to ask. The strategy you learn, the indicators you use as a passport holder are fluid across all markets and all time frames. Stocks, futures, crypto, Forex, ETFs. Price flows the same across all markets and all time frames. From support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over, again and again. It's a never-ending cycle. It's basically just how markets work, and always have. As a passport holder, you get the Logic 247 alerts round the clock. The concierge trade alerts, typically 5 minutes ahead of the Globex open each evening. Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, you get the weekly trading zones. Once they're published, they're carved in stone for the entire week. They don't change in any way whatsoever. Every Thursday night, you get to attend the members only workshop at 8 p.m. Eastern. And you get the golden keys that open all the private channels in Telegram. Everything a trader needs, all under one roof, one low price. Just email Valerie, support@cfrn.net. Okay, Michael should be here momentarily, so do not go away. He's going to cover everything that happened in the live training room this morning, then do a little bit of live trading as time and the markets permit. We're so close up against, the Fed announcement. Don't know what kind of tradable conditions there may be, but we'll see. And he'll show you how to take the free trial. It's a piece of cake. Take you about 3 minutes of your time. And then once you are signed up, once you fill out the form, we're going to get your indicators up and indicating today Then your trial will officially start tomorrow, and it'll run all the way through next Wednesday. The weekends do not count against you. So the fact that it's the middle of the week, don't let that hold you back from taking the trial. It will not cost you any of your days. So I'm going to hit pause for my side for just a second here, and Michael will be here in just a couple minutes. All right, he's on his way. So just sit tight. Take one more look at this daily chart. Yep, we're off the low. Way off the high of the session and just off the low of the session. And with the Fed on deck, embrace all possibilities, because anything can happen.
There.
Hey, there you are.
Here I am.
All ready.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Put my name in here, and then I will be ready. All right. Here we go.
Okay. All right.
Should be good.
Yep. Everything looks good.
Excellent. Here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 28th day, last Wednesday of January 2026. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button. There is no credit card required for the trial. Just click on that purple button, and it will bring you to this registration page. On this page, all that we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. Down at the bottom, give us your TradingView login ID. Okay, once you give us that, we get the indicators indicating on your desktop so you can start using them and trading along with us during the free trial. All right, so today we had kind of a bumpy day today. We were only up $685 a contract, so we did not meet what I wanted to meet, the month of $1,200 a day average. But it's all good. We didn't have that many trades, and we do have FOMC coming up. And we had the same number of trades yesterday. Interesting. We made about twice as much yesterday. Well, we didn't have FOMC coming up yesterday. Anyway, today, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. I don't know if I said that already, but I have to say that every time we look at this. On the NQ, we're up 129 ticks. On the YM, we're up 61. On the crude, we're minus 14. We traded crude today instead of gold. Gold, we had 0. And the ES, we're a minus 10. That put us at $685 a contract. So that 140 that were minus right there, that's a big part of that, not being 1,200. Today I took 4 minutes in one trade to get to $1,000 per contract. That was a YM trade, and I thought I had made more than 20 ticks, but it turned out I only made 20 ticks, and it also turned out that it wasn't even a valid trade because the cycle before had not gone full cycle. I'll show it to you in a minute. We took a total of 37 trades with 7 stop outs to put us at 81% of our trades this morning at break even or better. So on the month, we're at 18,915. We have 2 business days left. So if we can make it to 20,000 for the month, that'd be a good start to the year, I think. Over 16 days, averaging 1,182. I want that number to be 1,200 by the end of the month. Hopefully we'll be able to do that. So same stuff for the year right now. The month and the year are the same, all of January. And the 2420 blueprint went up just a hair from yesterday. The average hourly rate is at $13.71. We were at $13.41 or something like that, I think, yesterday. But if you were to quit trading when you get the goal for the day and at 1 contract per month, so far in the month of January, you would have had work 1.65 hours. You'd be up $2,262.50 gross if you did everything exactly like I did, right? Exactly like I did. And you'd be averaging $1,371 per hour. Okay. Let's get in here and see what trades we did. Now today the NQ is where we had the majority of the trades. So I am just I'll start with crude oil over here on the left. And we're gonna get off crude tomorrow because crude was not good to me today. We had 4 trades and 2 of them were stop outs. Actually, we had 5 trades and 2 of them were stop outs. The first trade we took was plus 1 tick. Then we stopped out, that put us at minus 7. Then we stopped out again, that put us at minus 15. We're on a 4 tick range on this, so the stop is 8 ticks, not 10. Okay, then we stopped out again, that put us at minus 15. Then we got 1 more tick there, that got us to minus 14. And that is where we ended it. There was 1 more trade in there somewhere, apparently. I know I have 1 more written down, but no gain on it. And during the break, there was a trade here that would have stopped out. Trade there, you could have gotten some of it back. And that was pretty much it for the crude oil. So crude whooped us today. I'm not going to trade crude tomorrow. The YAM, what did we end up with on the YAM? The YAM was one of our big gainers. We'll go back to the beginning. Not a lot of bars to go through today, so I don't have to control. Hold it down. This was the first trade of the day. We've got the goal for the day. Now the reason I have this off-color arrow here is because right here that didn't go full cycle, so this shouldn't have actually been a trade, but we got 20 ticks on it, and that's where we got the goal. Then we got 14 ticks on the next one right there. Oh, we did. Yeah, we did. We got 14 ticks on the next one. That goes up to 34. Then 5 to 39. Then from 39 we went to 42. Then 48. Then 50. Then 51. And then 10 right there to get us to 61. And that's where we ended up with the YM. Okay, if we go right to the end right now, we don't have any trades here on the YM. Nothing on gold, nothing on crude, nothing on the YM. The ES is about to give us a trade, so let me find my DOM so I can try to get that ready. What is the high on this? The high on this is 325, so it'd be selling 125. Okay. The ES today. See, there's hardly any bars to go through here. Now on the ES, I took this trade right here, and I had a stop out on it, and I think I have it marked as a stop out because I shouldn't have taken the trade because it had already gone to the point where I should have had my stop at break even. But we stopped out on that, and that puts it minus 10, and we never came back from that. I pushed it -10, then we had a +4 there to get us to -6, and another +4 to get us to -2. Then we stopped out again to -12, then a break even, and a +2 to get us up to -10. And that's where we ended it with the ES today. And it is kind of looking like it wants to give us a trade right here. The high of the bar is 375. Now it's to be selling 175. 175 on that. Okay. And now the NQ. NQ. I am going to get control back on this one. All right. So on the NQ, we had our very first trade here on the NQ. We stopped out on -25. Then we tried to get it back slowly. Went from -25 to -21 to -13 to -9 to -3. Right. So -21, 13, 9, 3. No, -5. I'm sorry, -5. Then +3, and then we're up to +7. And then right here we went from plus. Maybe I was going to get this mixed up. We went from +3 to +7 to +35. Then from 35 we went to 80. I don't know how we ended up doing that. Went from 35 to 80, and then 80 to 87, and 87 to 91. 91 to 136 somewhere, and then we stopped out, and that brought us down to 111. Then from 111 we went to 86, so we stopped out again. And right there we went down to 86, we stopped out again. Then we got 4 ticks up to 90. Then 20 ticks up to 110. 4 ticks up to 114. 20 ticks up to 134, and then we stopped out again. I have this in orange because I don't think it was off the mid-band. It wasn't. That stopped us out again. We were down at 109. Then went to 113 and 129, and that's where we ended it. Okay, and that was the whole morning with the NQ. So the NQ is actually a big gainer today. It doesn't have a trade right here right now. The ES never triggered either, I don't think. No, the ES didn't end up triggering. It was too high. Right, I had the order waiting down there. If it would have been low enough, it would have triggered me in, but I'll just cancel that one. And now we can get back in here. Now, anybody who's coming on right now in the YouTube feed, if you haven't taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com and click on the purple button. There's no credit card required for the trial. Click on the purple button and it'll bring you to the registration page. Just fill this one out. Okay, get all your information in there and get the indicators indicating on your desktop for you. And get you into our room in the morning. Now, let me open this box up. There are no questions at this juncture. And let me see here. Who's in here today so far? Okay. Okay. Let's go here and get this ready. Okay. Insert one row below. This will now be 36 and 128. And what time is it? 110. So we have 20 minutes. Copy this down. Copy that down. Put a 0 and a 0 and a 20. And this number will be 25. Okay. So this number should be, I think that's right. It's pretty close to right. I don't know. Let's see. Get back in here and trade now. All right, so this is not a trade here on the crude oil. Not a trade on the YM, not a trade on the ES, and not a trade on the NQ right now. Okay. But it could be soon. All right. I'll look at that later. I just changed a bunch of properties in that. I don't have any trades right now yet. Does anybody have any questions at this point? Anybody? No. Okay. I gotta be able to myself. Price surge. Bitcoin is up 3% in the past 24 hours. All right, so we have potential for a short here on crude. That's really the only place we have potential for anything. The markets are really slow. We have FOMC coming out here in 40 minutes, 38 minutes. So maybe we won't get any trades today. We'll see. Pretty close here on the YM, but this didn't go full cycle down. It didn't go full cycle back either. So there's no trade on the YM. Pretty close on the crude. That's going to have an up close to get that into the overbought, and then a down close to get out of it. And nothing on the NQ. So in the bigger picture here, we're in a red day right now on the ES. We were green all morning. We actually put all-time highs in. Now we're coming off the low of the day. It's got a long way to go here to get down to the BBC. So I suspect it's going to try to go here before too long. Okay, need an up close followed by a down close there. An up close followed by down close there, and up close followed by down close here. Right. Well, we're not getting anything we need yet. Those misspelled domains. What do they call it? Typo squatter. Typo squatting. Typo squatting. That's what it's called. I think, yeah, let me try this. Huh. Oh, it finished it for me. I was trying to go to. They must have gone and bought that too. And just redirect it. Interesting. It's testing that typo squat. So we need a pullback there, here. You can up close on this, but the up close is going to bring it too far away. We needed an up close on that. Could still happen on the crude. An up close followed by an immediate down close. But crude's kind of dead right now. Change it to the Russell. I might have a Russell down open. Russell on a 4 range. Let me see if I do have Russell down. I do have Russell down open. There it is. Oops, let me just check a couple of things on it. Okay, targets. There it is. Stop. I'm gonna do it on 9 range. Turn offset 5. Okay. All right. So I have the Russell going instead of the crude now. Maybe we'll get a trade on that. I'm going to put it on the 9 range. We'll see how it goes. None of the indices are really moving right now. We have 4 of them open and 4 of them just stagnant. They redirected theirs too. Typo squat. Didn't know there was a name for it. Interesting. Well, does anybody have any questions? We have 10 minutes left in here. The way things are going, we're not going to have any trades the way this is turning out.
Yeah, things are getting pretty quiet and sideways the way they often do ahead of the Fed.
You want to just call it? And
yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay. Well, let's do that. Let me just say this. Let me go out here and we'll change the this to tomorrow, 129. Okay, and so we'll be able to pick up with that tomorrow. And this number, we'll put it 0. We'll update that tomorrow. If you have not taken a free trial, let's go here to mytradingiq.com. Click on the purple button. There's no credit card required for the trial. Just click on that purple button, and it will bring you to this registration page. All that we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. Down here, and give us your TradingView login ID. Okay, once you do that, we can get the indicators indicating for you on your desktop. Right, that is that. With that, I can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Tony is ready.
Okie doke. Recap of the morning session.
Today it took 4 minutes and 1 trade to get to $1,000.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. I made it through all the markets in their entirety. Covered how to become a member. Everything we typically do. I sped it up a little bit because we got the Fed announcement coming in 38 minutes. So I just want to make sure we had everything done in time. So we're going to just wrap up with our good word for the day. If you missed any of today's broadcast, as always, as soon as I sign off, you can go to youtube.com/CFRN and you can watch today's broadcast, the afternoon broadcast, in its entirety. Currently, there's over 2,900 daily episodes archived at youtube.com/CFRN. And again, if you are ready to become a member, you email Valerie, support@cfrn.net. She'll send you everything you need to get signed up. All right, a good word for the day. Look for opportunities to do good. Hebrews 13:16. Do not forget to do good and to share. Peter describes the life of Jesus in these words: who went about doing good. That's from Acts 10:38. So becoming more Christ-like means looking for opportunities to do good. An anonymous author wrote, when people are unreasonable, illogical, self-centered, and arrogant, love them anyway. When people insist that your goodness contains selfish motives, do good anyway. If you are successful, you will win both false friends and true enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest, some will seek to twist your words against you. Be honest anyway. If you do good today, some may forget it by tomorrow. Do good anyway. If you show yourself to be a big person with big ideas, don't be surprised if you are opposed by small people with small minds. Think big anyway. What you have spent years building, some may seek to destroy overnight. Build anyway. President Theodore Roosevelt said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man or woman who points out where the doer of the deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man or woman who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself or herself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end, the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst at least fails while daring greatly, so that his or her place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither knew victory nor defeat. So again, look for opportunities to do good. And that's our good word for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.